Hey guys, it's Sunday morning and I'm at my workplace. I wanted to share with you today this little Arduino sensor that I made, and it's this wheel here that goes to this little box. Before we talk about the sensor, just a little bit of background so that you know what it does. This machine is a chamfering, a beveling machine. It needs to process these strips. Right now I have a short one in it just for demonstration, but we basically process 12-meter long strips. And this machine is a dumb machine, so it needs to be constantly monitored by a worker. He needs to stand by the machine and make sure that the material doesn't get stuck or anything wrong happens, because aside from the circuit protection that this machine has, like thermal shutdown, the machine doesn't know when the material is going through it or when it's stuck, and if it doesn't know it, it just basically keeps on turning, and that can cause the motors to overheat. And again, that brings malfunctions. What I've decided to do is to make this wheel that just sits on the material, and as long as the material goes through it, the machine stays on, it does its work. But if the material stops and the sensor detects it, then a relay is activated and the machine stops, and then I can also add maybe like a lamp that will indicate to the worker that he needs to attend the machine. But other than that, with this wheel, I've created a situation where I don't need to have the worker all the time continuously monitoring the machine. He can do other tasks, and in between, if he hears that the machine stops or he sees an indicator, then he can attend to it. And that obviously saves time through the work. I've set the whole machine up here to give you a demonstration, but I don't want to damage your ears with the sounds of a phrase machine. So I'm going to show you this video now, which I made previously, a few minutes ago, and you can see in detail how the machine works, and I'm going to talk over this video. Now you can see that there is a wheel, there is a button, pretty much a switch, just a micro switch, and it's constantly being clicked in and out. That causes the Arduino inside the box to realize that the material is still flowing, still going through the machine, and everything is okay. And if the wheel stops and the button is no longer pressed, then the Arduino will send a signal into a relay, and that will cause the machine to stop. The sensor is connected pretty much behind the emergency button. So if the emergency button is pressed, either way the machine will stop. But regardless of the emergency button, then also sits the sensor with a relay, and it will cause the whole machine again to stop as if the emergency button was pressed. For the rest, I'm going to show you the circuit in a separate video, but that's the whole idea of this sensor. I pretty much can guess that many people that will watch this video now will say, well, you know, you made this and it's all like with tie wraps and just a button, and maybe you can use this sensor and that sensor. The important thing, sorry for that little interruption guys, it just started raining, so if you hear it in the background, my apologies. As I was saying, most people I think that will look at this video will say that it's a very rudimentary build, and it's all with tie wraps and just put together really quick. I want to remind you that this is not meant to be a commercial product. It's an internal solution. It's something that will only work within this project, because only in this project I need to produce such long strips. And basically, when this project is done, if I have no more use for this sensor, I will just disassemble it and use the Arduino for something else. This whole build is made through using project hours, and eventually the idea is by investing a few hours in making such a rudimentary sensor that eventually also does its work. It doesn't look that well, but it does its work. Through that you save production hours, and you can invest those hours in other things. To talk a little bit about the circuit, you can see that in the box we have the Arduino. I have a 24 volt power voltage regulator. I'm taking 24 volts from the machine itself, and I use it to power the relay. Right now it's not connected because this sensor is still in its test configuration, so to speak, but it's functioning, and I just didn't bother with changing it. If I need to, then I will do it. For the rest, there is a relay module. Everything just cheap eBay things. I can say that this whole box cost no more than 20 euros, where if you were to produce the same sort of sensor with industrial components, you will probably be looking at something over the 100 euros, and with the time and hours to make the sensor and everything, it will cost much more. And again, it's just for this project, so there is no real sense in investing in something long term unless I will see that I need to have a use for it. For example, this wheel that you see right now, it's the second version. It costs about 3 hours to produce by a guy that learns here how to do the work. The first wheel that I made, I created it in something like a half an hour, and you can see it right now in the video. It does exactly the same work, only it was much more raw and rudimentary, and I thought, well, there is a difference between making something half an hour that will last for a few days and making something in 3 hours that will last for the whole project. And that's why once I saw that the concept works, I just decided to make something that will last much longer. I will put the schematics also here. If you want the code for it, it's very basic code, but I will put it either in one of the comments or in the description of the video. For the rest, I won't share what's in the box of the machine. That's just industrial components. I don't want to go into that. But in principle, I've placed a relay inside that is connected between the emergency button and the internal PLC that controls this machine. And again, once the sensor kicks into action, it disconnects the whole circuit as if the emergency button was pressed. It does the work. I'm happy with it. It's already saving me a lot of time and man hours. And I hope that you like this video and you learned something from it. If you like this channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.